Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. I'm Dean. This is Convincing Idiots.
I'm Brian.
And I am Nick. And if this is your first time listening to our lovely voices, we are a podcast available everywhere you like to get podcasts of three friends from three different generations talking about all kinds of pop culture and nerd things. We can be found on YouTube and Facebook by simply searching for Convincing Idiots. We're on Instagram at convincing_idiots, Twitter at convincing idiot, now on TikTok at convincing idiots, or you can send us an email, and that's at convincingidiots@gmail.com. So today we come to you to speak of what, Brian?
Well, today we're going to continue our superhero battle bracket. And we're just doing these as we have time, frankly. So lately it's been every couple of weeks or so. So again, we just picked between our...
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Just give me a second. This doesn't feel right.
There we go.
There we go. No. Now I feel better. I got this cool, awesome hat that Nick wouldn't be caught dead wearing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. It looks very nice on you.
Now I'm all set, guys.
Very fitting.
Let's
very,
do the superhero bracket.
Yes, indeed. And
For
we've
those
had
not
other
watching, whoever's listening to just the podcast, we have a Convincing Idiots hat that Brian had made for us, and I just got mine this week, so I had to put it on, and that's what I'm wearing. So
it looks very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Excellent. And we've had other requests for other hats out there. So Jeff and Holly both requested a hat.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Friends of
are they looking for
the
are they looking for a certain style of hat, or do they drive truck for a living also?
Exactly the same style.
They're not picky and uppity like you, so they're like whatever to support the podcast.
Well, that makes sense why they befriended you so many years ago. I mean,
that's a valid point.
Very good. So anyway, so we're doing another superhero battle bracket. Again, between us and some fans out there, they gave us suggestions, and again, we just randomized brackets of superheroes between Marvel and DC, and we just debate who we think would win. So again, the rules are the heroes know who they will be fighting ahead of time, so they have time to prepare, and it's just the battle takes place on remote place of the Earth, so not somewhere out in space where they may have other advantages or something like that. And
from parts unknown.
Go ahead. Parts unknown. That's right. Not unlike Barberton, perhaps.
Right.
Parts unknown.
Is that where the Ultimate Warrior was from? Oh my God.
Yes.
It's a hometown hero.
17th Street.
Oh.
Right over there.
No,
was the Ultimate Warrior from Barberton, really?
No.
So.
Okay. I'm like, what? So. Okay. Now, the MMA fighter we saw the other night was from Barberton, one of the female MMA fighters. That was pretty neat.
Huh.
Okay, so today we are doing Thor versus the Vision. So, but before we get to that, it's been a week since we shot our last show. So, how are you guys? Dean, how was your past week, sir?
Well, I don't know. It's February now, and it's cold, and you haven't seen the sun in a while, and you just get done. I miss I want to get out in the sun. I want to go play golf. I kind of get bogged down there, right? Like everybody. No, Nick, you
I
disagree?
love this time of year. No, yeah, it's the cold, the snow. I love it. I don't miss any sort of warm weather whatsoever.
It's about this time where I'm like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
I enjoy it in the beginning. It's fun. Let's wear our scarves. Let's have a good time.
Yeah.
But now it's like, all right, I've had enough. But no, I mean, I'm fine. I can't wait. We have a Convincing Idiots golf outing that the three of us will have, right?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, or it's just the three of us going drinking and.
Is this a legit event, or did you just decide that we're doing this right now?
Oh, just as I was speaking.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I wasn't even sure it was going to be a thing until the end of that sentence. Actually.
Yeah, it give me something to look forward to when it warms up. There you go.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to warn you guys. I do when I golf, Nick, as you know, I do not wear shoes.
Right.
And I wear 2 pairs of pants just in case I get a hole in one.
Usually he just has to change them because he pisses himself on the 5th hole. So
excellent. No, that sounds like a good idea. So yeah, for those just listening out there, we're in Northeast Ohio, so we definitely have cold and snow and gray, and we're ready for. Some of us are ready for springtime at least. So.
Yeah. Oh, and half my toenail came off on my foot.
It's very pleasant. You were kind enough to show us a.
Oh, I sure did.
Yeah, kind enough to show us a photo. Mm-hmm.
In October, I was walking. We had the pumpkin, one of the jack-o'-lanterns on the floor, and in the dark, I kicked it with my foot, and it ripped up half of my toenail on my big toe. And it throughout the past whatever months, the new part started growing in, and it started lifting up. So I had to take a nip and clip the rest of it because it's dead. Like I couldn't feel anything. Mm-hmm. And it's all smooth and under there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's you go back into our text feed and look at it, Nick.
You did not. I don't remember
sent
that.
it.
You sent it to us, both of us?
Yeah, just before the show started. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And for a small fee of 98 cents, we'll be happy to send you a photo, the copy of the same photo, to our fans out there.
That's right.
Yeah. So when you stubbed your toe on the pumpkin, did it become engorged? I don't know.
Dead toenails gross me out so bad.
Yeah.
Dead toe and
Brian,
fingernails.
Don't sell yourself short. I like that joke.
Okay.
Toenails are worse.
Yeah, it's not great, Nick. How was your week, Nick? How I know you have somebody's special.
It was going real good. Yeah, no, it was a good week. It was a good week. I don't know. I'm trying to think back over the last week. Everything starts to run together after a while. No, it was good. Nothing crazy. Regular life things. We were talking about the weather. I was going to say this winter actually is like. I enjoy the fact that we're getting more, like in the years past, we've had very mild winters, like so much so I've had a newer snowblower for like last 3 years and like haven't really been able to use it, but the 1 year. So it's kind of, I don't know. It's pretty outside. I like that. I like the snow, but,
yeah, we had a pretty quiet weekend. So able to spend the evening with, my lovely girlfriend Allie. I did.
Did we lose Brian?
Where'd he go?
Lose you? Sorry.
Your video's gone.
Hold on.
People that solely listen to this must really love like all the non-visual aids that they get.
Right.
Here we go.
Yeah, I was getting a call there. Sorry about that. Yeah. Anyway, we just kind of hung out and spent a nice quiet evening in and watched the game. And we'll talk more about that later in the another segment perhaps or whatever, but yeah, one of the most boring Super Bowls that I can recall ever watching. So that was about it. So now you guys, this weekend coming up is Valentine's Day weekend. Do you celebrate? Do you go out? What do you do, if anything?
Typically we would go we would have dinner or something like that. I'm not sure if we're doing that. So my wife's birthday is 2 days after Valentine's Day. So we'll usually go out for her birthday or something like that. And it's kind of, I guess it's somewhere, whatever the weekend that falls around the 14th and 16th, we'll go out. So I assume we'll be doing a little something maybe. We've been out to dinner a couple times since all this has happened. So as long as the birthday girl wants to do that, I assume we'll probably be doing that. But yeah, we definitely celebrate it and stuff like that. So.
Okay. What you doing? Do you guys celebrate or not really?
Well, this is kind of our quasi first year celebrating it together. So, well, I think we actually might have been together last year, but I don't think we really. I think we may have went out to dinner, but normally, no, I don't celebrate. But I think we'll probably. I think we gonna make a dinner for the kids, and we got them cards, and it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're just going to hang out, and Allie has her daughter this weekend, so the three of us are going to go out and just have a nice little dinner or something like that. Pretty low key stuff. So,
what's your go-to Valentine's dinner? Where's the spot, or is it different?
Her daughter likes Mexican, so we're going to go Mexican. So there you have it, which is just fine, which is good.
Yeah. I realized after I said it what you were smiling about. Come on, guys, tell me where it is.
I didn't say the joke, so. Yeah. All right. So, real quick.
Go ahead.
Well, actually, real quick.
Do you want to read, Dean?
I do. I'm going to do a read because.
Tell the audience about my favorite Valentine.
Your favorite Valentine and all of ours. Actually, this week got me not only my 5-minute quote, but we're going to sign the papers. And Mr. Aaron Blake with Blake Insurance, he is saving me $100 a year.
Nice.
So shit's going to add up. Blake, so let me do this proper, right? me. You know, I got to get the voice ready, right? All right. This episode is brought to you by Blake Insurance. Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located in Barberton, Ohio. They offer auto, home, renters, and business, or life insurance. I messed that up, didn't I? Missed the comma. They are a service above all other. Call 234-571-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com for your free 5-minute quote today. I tell you guys, seriously, he's been a friend of ours for years. One of the most trustworthy and reputable gentlemen I've ever met and have the pleasure of knowing. And if anybody's going to treat you right, if he can't save you money, he's going to let you know. He won't bullshit you. So yes, if you need insurance in the Northeast Ohio area, give him a call or go to BlakeInsuranceLLC.com.
Yep, and he even sends me GQ magazines that have been at his office, and when the new month comes, he sends them my way. He doesn't have to do that.
Look at that.
He does.
See,
I enjoy that. And then I put them on my bar right here where I sit in my basement, and it looks like I'm a fancy man. Fancy boy.
It creates the illusion that you're reading something.
That's right.
Or they
yes. I do read them, actually. I very much enjoy them.
Yes. That's good. And I should say that the Ignite Brewing, Dean, may as well just send Aaron Blake of Blake Insurance a thank you card for saving you $100 a year, which will immediately go right back into Ignite Brewery.
That's right. Right here.
Yeah, you may as well just set up a fund to where the savings from your insurance
just funnel it right to them.
Right, yeah, just cut out the middleman. Just go.
I like that.
Right to Ignite Brewing Company in Barberton, and I'm sure you'll use that up and then some. So
absolutely. I was going to ask that when you said he's saving you $100 a year, and you didn't say at first what. I was going to say, is he giving you rides home from the bar? Like, he will be taking me home from now on.
All these added perks. Okay, so let's talk about Thor and the Vision. So we've been doing here, again, whether you like it or not, I've been reading some statistics of each hero.
Statman. We're so off on that.
Is it the lag, or were we just off? Are we in?
I'd started it, and then you jumped in like second Statman, like it was the first.
Well, you did the music like I usually do the music, and then which is good. You started it, but then I didn't know if I was supposed to jump into the lyrics.
I went soft on the music, but I went soft on the music because we might have a special music added later. So that's why I kind of went soft in these. That way you could put it over my na 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 na. Actual na 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 na.
Right.
Yeah,
I stopped paying attention a couple seconds.
We'll work on it. And also extra music courtesy of Aaron Blake, who also does our opening theme music. Okay, so Thor, we all know who Thor is. He's the Norse deity of the same name. He's the Asgardian god of thunder.
He's the gentleman that holds up your beard.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
For those, again, not watching, Brian is wearing a Thor shirt, so there's that.
That's right. Yes. He's holding a boombox versus the sacred hammer, which you can't see on camera, but it is there. Nick, help me. What is the hammer's name? You pronounced it correctly.
It is Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. Thank you.
Mjolnir. Yes. Mjolnir.
So obviously he wields the enchanted hammer Mjolnir. Thor first appeared in Journey into Mystery in number 83 back in August 1962, created by Stan Lee, Larry Lieber, and Jack Kirby. So, again, one of these iconic Marvel heroes by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, the artist, back in the 60s. Obviously, still very popular today in the movies, etc. He has superhuman strength, speed, durability, and longevity, and via Mjolnir.
He can go all night.
Yeah. He's got dimensional transportation abilities with the hammer, electric manipulation. We know he can control lightning and everything. Of course,
dimensional. Is that like what you have? Oh no, that's dimension. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Dementia. That's
dementia.
Yeah, get it right.
I get that mixed up all the time.
Maybe you have dementia.
There's a good chance.
It's a good thing too, because every week I start the show and I'm like, I think I like these guys, and by the end I'm like, now I remember. And by the next week I'm like, hey, I like these guys.
All about
these guys are pretty cool. Yeah. Right. I go back and watch the videos, and I'm like, I gotta rethink.
I kind of wondered what keeps you coming back. I've wondered that before.
Yeah,
it's your pretty face.
Yeah,
he comes back every week for it.
That's a factor.
Nice. And I just bundle my way into the group here.
I meant to tell you too, Nick. Allie heard your trailer, and Allie's like, Nick has such a nice voice. He sounds so good. Yeah,
that's very nice.
You got a nice compliment.
That. Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so Thor can fly with Mjolnir. He can control the weather. He can summon the elements and all of that. And if you're again a casual fan, you know about all those powers probably.
Hold on, real quick on the control of the weather. Is it just thunder and lightning?
No, he can also summon the other elements as well: snow, rain, which you don't really see, but you see storms.
So if he walks out in like a light jacket, he can go it up and it 4 degrees gets warmer, so he takes the jacket off. He's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, feels like wearing. Yeah.
So he could save us from climate change if he chose to.
Right. He's just a dick.
Yeah, probably on a temporary basis at least.
So we'd have to keep the hamster wheel running all the time to actually
I think so. Yeah, I think that's how
control.
That would work. Right.
Okay.
Something I did not know, which is a very courtesy of very random courtesy of Wikipedia. All Asgardians rely on the periodic consumption of golden apples of Eden to sustain their extended lifespan. So apparently, you have to eat these apples in Asgard to remain young and alive. I don't know. Thor, if pressured, you may have seen this in the comics or heard of this or whatever, but if pressured in battle, he's capable of entering a state of what they call warrior's madness, so kind of berserker type mode he can go into, which increases his strength and stamina tenfold, but he still just attack anybody. So he's just kind of...
It's like going Super Saiyan, like Dragon Ball Z, if anybody, where you just,
Gotcha.
Like ultimate thing mode.
Right.
Okay.
He has a high resistance to physical injury. He has, in the comics, withstood energy blasts from Celestials, which is one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel universe. And he has superb hand-to-hand combat ability. He does. Let's see. We know in the movies too, he almost killed Thanos. So he had the opportunity to kill him, but he kind of messed it up. But he has the power to kill Thanos, and that's any Marvel hero that has that ability is one of their strongest.
Technically, he did.
I guess you're right. He did in the movie. He did behead him, but he was already lost his powers. But yeah, he does have various weaknesses. High-level spells, magical weaponry, and then just his love of it. We've seen this in the movies too, his brotherly love. So he wants to, he can't seem to go out and really, kill Loki or anything weird like that. There's a Twilight sword. I don't know what that is exactly. Feelings of unworthiness. He sometimes doubts his abilities, and you saw that in the movies as well. The hammer is just a hammer in his hand. So if he loses the hammer, and we've seen that before in the movies, I mean, he has the strength and everything else, but obviously without the hammer, he does lose a lot of abilities. So he is susceptible to damage and not being as powerful if he loses the hammer. The warrior madness we just talked about again. He just sort of you're not really thinking clearly. You're fighting everybody. He does have in the comics on several occasions. He has lost the hammer. So that is something that again he is subject to, and a couple other things. He does rely on the hammer a lot. He doesn't always think about repercussions of his actions, and a couple other things that really aren't relevant to this. So
he's kind of.
I find him relatable. Yeah. I also sometimes don't think about the repercussions of my actions, and I relate to that. Cheers, Thor.
That's why we're family now.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think I love this woman, and if I'm going to focus on that love, and anything else she brings to the table, I'm just not really thinking about that clearly at this moment. Then you woke up one day, and I'm like, yeah, this guy's my brother-in-law.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and here we are. Yep.
And he's been happy ever since.
Mm-hmm.
I have.
Mm-hmm.
For the brother-in-law part.
All right, so Vision, and again, if you're a casual Marvel movie fan, you know who the Vision is. Obviously, very big on the television show on Disney Plus right now with WandaVision.
You all caught up on that?
Yes. Well, not this week's.
Okay.
Just yet. I actually, before I had the debacle, we were talking off camera, I had a thing with my internet. That was my plan tonight. I'm like, in case we talked about it, I wanted to watch this week's episode, but I haven't yet. But I'm caught up to this newest episode.
Okay.
So I watched fully up to that.
We'll have to talk after you watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Vision is a synthezoid, which is an advanced android. He was created by Ultron to eliminate the Avengers in the comics. And again, obviously, Ultron was a star of one of the Avengers movies. You've seen that. He was created by Roy Thomas and artist John Buscema in Avengers number 57, made his first appearance in October 1968. So another good thing about 68, I guess you could say. Abilities. He has superhuman agility, intelligence, strength, and speed. He can fly. One of his big powers is density control. So he can shift his density from transparent and phase through things. And what something I did not really realize is that he can go shift to the other direction as well and be extremely dense. And so he can change density, phasing,
I
and
can
tangibility.
also be extremely dense.
Yes, indeed. That's what one of your powers. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But he can also increase his density to 10 times greater of depleted uranium, whatever that means. But it's basically like tons of weight. So he's practically immovable if he shifts to that level. And that gives him also extra strength and diamond hard near invulnerability when he shifts to that. But he also can't move too well. That's kind of the weakness of being shifting to that level of density, right? So
when Brian takes his little blue pill, he also becomes diamond hard.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, for at least 4 hours.
That's right.
Any longer than that, I hear you should call a doctor.
You should go see the doctor.
Yeah, or just take a nap and get going,
or take a picture and send it to a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be better than your half toenail picture. That's for sure.
Same size, I hear, though.
I was having such a good time with this conversation and these visuals until the dead toe came up again.
Very good. Okay, back to Vision's abilities. He can regenerate. He has solar energy projection through the jewel in his head. See, in the comics, that was a little unclear. See, in the comics, it's not the Mind Stone in the comics. In the comics, it was a solar jewel. That's a solar powered jewel. It absorbs the solar power. That gives him his power as an android, but he can also concentrate and shoot it.
So he's like green. He's like solar panel.
Sure, exactly right. He's a android that's good for the environment. You're correct.
Good, fantastic,
eco-friendly superhero for everyone.
That's right. So through the optic beam he can shoot infrared and microwave radiation through the jewel. He was trained in hand-to-hand combat by Captain America. He's a highly skilled tactician and strategist, and he is an expert in his own construction and repair. So if he gets damaged, he can fix himself. And I mentioned the key weakness of the density. When he, shifts too far, he could barely move. So there are the, and again, he's still, at the end of the day, he's still a robot. So he is, still an android. So
interesting.
We'll just kind of leave it at that. So there's your powers and weaknesses.
Let's take a couple scenarios or situations here. For example, in the movie, he was killed by somebody pinching out the stone.
Right.
And it was Thanos.
It was Thanos.
Does that change it?
It did happen. No, because
like it's some random dude.
It's not some random. I'm going on the aspect of what killed him, not who or if they had the strength to do it. Just that little stone coming out ends it.
And you're correct. Okay. One more thing I want to add, and I'm sorry, before you start thinking through this too. It happened in the movies as well, but Vision can lift Mjolnir.
Okay.
You might remember he did it. There was a scene in the movie, and they didn't really explain it. He mentioned in the movie that he felt like he says he isn't human and the hammer rules may not apply to him, or is he worthy enough to wield it? It's not clear just because he can pick it up, if he can wield the power of it, since he's not human. That's where it gets a little. You probably can have your own interpretation there.
Sure.
But, and in the comics, I should have mentioned, they fought a couple of times. Again, this is a reference. It could be an older reference online, but at the time, whoever placed this reference, and these are super comic nerds that post a lot of these chats.
Sure.
So I trust a lot of these. You know what I'm saying? Thor has won at least twice in the comics over the Vision. So it's just a couple of the thoughts here when you go through and make your your considerations here. So sorry, but you're right, Dean. So right in the movie, he just ripped the stone out. They gave him his power, and he was done. Boom, just like that.
And Nick, like you said, Thanos did it,
right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Thor is just as strong as Thanos, probably stronger. I mean, he's a fucking god, So he's going to have that strength to do that.
Yeah.
And like when he comes down and hits that hammer, and the light and the power and the energy, everything goes blasting outward. Yes, he could like put all his density down and not get blown back. Mm-hmm. But if he comes down on top of him, he is just a robot. Ultimately.
Right. Yes. Mm-hmm. That is true. Now you say, Brian, they both possess super strength and speed. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So they cancel each other out in the regard of, can one aid one quicker than the other kind of thing. Now, Vision does have the advantage, pass through, right? He can shift and pass through things, and that might make him a little harder to get a hold of, right?
Yeah, you broke up slightly there, but yeah, we got the gist of what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, you're right. He does have the ability to change his density, and you're right. So he can phase through things. So in theory, you're right. If Thor was trying to grab him or another hero was trying to grab him, he could phase. So that you can't really harm anybody necessarily either. But I guess you could phase into them, and you could, in theory, you could phase into them and make your hand solid again, I suppose, and probably jolt somebody and do some damage there and all that.
Yeah.
In the description of one of the battles,
that's a good point.
It mentions that when Thor was fighting Vision somewhere, he went dense, and Thor, I guess he threw his hammer into him or something like that when he was so he couldn't phase back properly or something like that. It kind of disrupted him.
Oh, okay.
That was one way he helped defeat him, apparently. So
man.
But you're right. He would be hard to get a hold of.
I forgot. Like in the TV show, it was like the second episode, but first episode, one of them, where the dude was choking and he reached into his throat and got the food out.
Right.
Yeah, that was neat.
And he got to keep his job.
Right.
He might be getting that promotion after all. Yeah. See, this is tough, guys. Like, this is I know we've had some close ones before, but usually by now I've made up my mind. But I'm
struggling. Conventional wisdom will tell you that Thor is a god and he will just smash him.
A thing that's tripping me up though too is you mentioned, when you're doing the Thor bio, that I wonder if they're both so strong and they're so fast and Thor can control elements and he has Mjolnir, but Vision can phase through things, and I wonder if it doesn't come down to a mental tactics kind of thing, right? So you mentioned Thor in his bio. He has a lot of self-doubt, feels unworthy, and I don't know how much of this actually happened in comics and versus movie, but I mean, in the very last Avengers movie, in Endgame, he kind of loses it when he couldn't finish off Thanos. He kind of goes off the deep end, and my favorite probably version of Thor, by the way. But he just sits around and drinks beers in a shack and plays video games and shit. And I mean, it sends him off the deep end though, right? He lets himself go. He kind of, once he loses that confidence in himself, he's shaken. Vision being a little more intelligent and together with his tactics, I wonder if that doesn't give him the edge.
But could he do that? Could he do that all in one fight, or does that have to be?
I don't mean like he. Well,
thing?
No, but I mean as far as just once he maybe realizes that this guy is a serious threat to him, does he start to question himself, and does he get wrapped up in that? Does it become a battle? Is he really battling himself inside of his own head? I guess, so to speak, at a certain point. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I also read a few. You can find all kinds of stuff out there, who are some of the Marvel heroes that could potentially beat Thor, and Vision is on the list that he could potentially beat Thor. Now, what I read was basically on his own, maybe not, but if he could get a hold of the hammer, then he may have a chance. I also read other. Go ahead.
I was just going to say there's that too. You mentioned, the hammer has a lot to do with the power. You know what I mean? Or that he definitely is at a disadvantage without Mjolnir. So if that's something that, and if Vision is able to pick it up or able to somehow elude him or separate him from the hammer, and in some way, does that give him an advantage? I don't know. But yeah, definitely like Thor. I mean, when we were naming all these superheroes at the get-go, I'm thinking probably gonna, just upon first glance, and now I look at it and I think some other people have shots as well. But initially, the two that stuck out as I'm like Thor and Superman. They're cheat codes. They're both gods. They're both, ultimately, endlessly strong and fast and do all this, cool stuff. So those are the ones that jump off the page. But when I mean, there's definitely more options than maybe at a first glance you would give credit to in the bracket.
Sure.
And Vision being one of them.
Yeah. Okay. And of all I've read there's different rankings of overall powerful heroes of Marvel and stuff like that, and typically Thor's in the top 3 usually. Now Vision makes his way into the top 5 or 6 in a couple lists that I read. So, I mean, again, these are just fan rankings. There's a lot of things taken into consideration, a lot of speculation and stuff like that. So,
okay,
go ahead.
In the fight, I don't know if you'd said it or if you know this, but with the Vision being an android, being a machine computer type situation, is he susceptible to electricity, to lightning?
See, that's where my head's going there, same as you. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily specify that so much now, but it makes sense. It does, and there's other fan theories to that effect out there as well.
Well, and also when you mentioned throwing Mjolnir, and then when he interrupting him, kind of like phasing and stuff like that. I mean, in theory, if it interrupts that kind of activity, then it would make sense that it might disrupt his abilities a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it, where my head is, it would be probably, again, another long battle because you have a machine. Now, again, I don't know Vision if he runs lower on power because, again, his power is from a solar jewel.
Yeah, they got to fight during the day, or he's just gonna be no. He's gonna be no.
Yeah, and what if Thor can just summon the clouds and make it super overcast? Just like that's just what now this is where we fight. You're fucked.
No, but you say that joking, but it's just like
it's legit.
That would be the constant element.
I mean, it's not legit because it's not real, but it's legit.
Well, no, it's the same as
for the sake of this. It's
for the solar panels on your house. They store energy, so I would assume if he gets the energy from the jewel, he's going to store the energy, so it's not going to be like, running nighttime. He's out. No, he'll store energy, and it's just that's where he consumes it from. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, where I'm at is, I'm going with that same theory of the electricity. If he is an android, if there's any shot that electricity and tons and as much as electricity as you can possibly imagine having to take, Thor could wield it at you with the lightning. I mean, he's the god of lightning, for Christ's sake. So
correct.
Yeah.
He would, Vision would get around a lot of it. He can phase, he can move quickly and all that. But I have to imagine at some point Thor is going to cast down enough electricity he's going to get hit. And if that slows him down, then Vision is susceptible to that. And does it, Thor gets into this whole berserker mode thing. Does that make it worse? I don't think that the Vision's intangibility in, the density, I'm trying to say, in not being able to move is going to help him against the lightning and electricity and all of that stuff. So in my mind, too much electricity, too much there is a counterbalance to an android at the end of the day. I think in my book, Thor wins this particular battle. That's what I got.
Your vote is cast.
My vote is cast.
Okay.
Like Mjolnir, it's cast.
It's cast.
That's right.
Okay. So after watching the first 5 episodes of WandaVision, you get to see a different version of Vision, and I love the actor. He's fantastic.
Yep.
And I was really enjoying him. So coming up to this today, I was thinking to myself, I was going back and forth today also with all of this, and I'm like, I really want Vision to win, because over the past 5 weeks or whatever it's been, I've been enjoying him and his character and stuff, but after this discussion, unfortunately, there's no discussion. It is Thor. He's got the lightning and the berserker mode, and right there, all he's really going to take the hammer and just smash him. He is a robot. He is metal and whatnot. If he's not seeing it to where he can get him to go through him, he's just going to just smash him into the ground. I mean, Thanos was able to rip the jewel out, and if he can smash down through him into the ground and smash that in the process, between that and the lightning, my vote is Thor.
The vote is cast. So not like my vote matters at this point because Thor's already
welcome to your life.
Whatever, right? Thanks for showing up. Peace. So when we started this discussion, as I've made it when I, say my piece, it's I initially was thinking, they seem pretty even. Like this one more so than any other one that we've done. Have I been this torn on this far into the conversation? So initially I was thinking, I think it might be the fact that Vision might be a little, Thor jumps off the page at you that he would seem to be the clear-cut winner, but I think they have a lot more similarities than you would give Vision credit for. And I think that Vision, being the tactician, being a little maybe more intelligent and maybe a little more sure of himself, well, I mean, he's an android, so whatever that's worth. But maybe that gives him the edge. But Brian, what you just said at the end there really it changed my mind. It convinced me. I would have to go with Thor as well. Like you said, I mean, I just don't think I don't think it balances out. I don't think the things that make Vision a worthy combatant and a threat to Thor outweigh the abilities that Thor has and the tools.
It's going to be a good fight.
It would be a great fight, but I think the nature element would. I mean that's what he has, the raw, all-encompassing power of the elements that he can use at his disposal. My vote also goes to Thor. It is a unanimous decision today, fellas.
But I'm going to tell you what. This is the first matchup, for me at least, where I like both combatants equally. All the other ones, I at least had a bias. Even if I would have picked them and liked them less, I liked somebody over the other. This was probably the first one where it was pretty damn equal of how much I enjoy both characters. And then on top of that, real quick, Nick, you had mentioned something, and I have an idea just for a show note. If one of us says to the other, "You've convinced me," the proper reply needs to be, "Idiot."
I like it.
Good.
Fair.
All right.
Yep.
You just want to call me an idiot. I really would like to call Nick an idiot right now. I think that would be really good for the show.
It's not going to happen because I haven't convinced you of anything ever. So
that's true. That is true.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. In actual life, you haven't convinced him that you're not an idiot. Probably.
That's true. Yeah. I haven't convinced anybody.
Yeah, I think this one here was just a bad. This battle is just a bad draw for Vision.
Yeah.
I think if he, some of the other, we talked, a lot of the other heroes so far, not all, but if it was Vision versus Cap or Black Panther or some of these other, it probably wouldn't even be much of a battle.
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
If he didn't start out with Thor, if he didn't start out fighting a god, he could have made it to the finals.
Yeah. Yep. And Thor will probably make a good run at this for a while. So
it's maybe next year, Vision. It wasn't your year this year, buddy.
That's right.
Bad matchup in the first round. Sorry, bud.
Yep. Nick, do you happen to have the brackets handy? If you don't, we'll circle back on that. Go ahead.
I do. So I'm going to take my little pen here, my super official. Can you get me a convincing idiot's pen, by the way? That would be helpful. I could use.
Yeah, we'll get those ordered. Sure.
It's got to be cheaper than a trucker hat, I would imagine. No. Okay. So we have Thor with the victory here, with the win. So, do you want to know next week's matchup, or do you want to know who's won so far? How do you want to do this?
Yeah. Why don't you recap what's happened so far, if you don't mind, and then who Thor would battle next? Go ahead.
So our first bracket episode was Iron Man v Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman came out on top on that one. The second round was Flash versus Captain Marvel, and Flash actually won that one. Captain America versus Black Panther. Captain America was the winner there. We had Martian Manhunter defeating Superman, much to the chagrin of Dean. And then now we officially have Thor defeating Vision. So that's what we got so far. So it looks like never mind. So the Thor will take on the winner of our next episode of the superhero battle bracket, which will be perhaps to avenge Vision, Scarlet Witch, and Sue Storm. So
boy.
So there we go. That'll be a good one too. That actually kind of similar.
Oh yeah.
Not the same, but along the relative lines of what we just did. But not the same, because Scarlet Witch, I don't know. Storm with the elements and Scarlet Witch with. There's a lot to hash out there.
Now wait, hold on.
We're not gonna get into it now, obviously, but it's.
You know what? I think to be clear here, we're getting a little crossed on the name Storm. So Sue Storm is the Invisible Woman from the Fantastic Four.
Oh.
Okay, so it's not Storm from the X-Men. That's okay. Just make sure we're on the
Idiot.
same page.
Yeah, I'm convinced that I'm an idiot.
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. So Sue
Yes,
Storm,
we were not. So thank you for that.
That's okay. So she has other powers and abilities, and I think if you guys start to look at the powers of the Scarlet Witch, what we've seen in the movies, and if you read in the comics, that her abilities are really definitely in the movies, just barely being shown. So, I mean, you're kind of getting some ideas of that in WandaVision. I mean, she has the ability to alter reality itself. So,
Well,
I
guys,
don't know, really go ahead.
Let me just tell you, I am never been so happy that we don't have a bigger following right now, because comic book nerds are brutal. Can you imagine how bad I'd get torched and shredded for fucking that up? Oh my god, I still might, and I welcome it. I deserve it. But if we had a bigger following and this was more of a big deal, oh man, I would not be able to show myself at a Comic-Con for at least 10 years. It would be bad.
Well, at least we weren't in the episode, and you're trying to describe how Sue Storm with a Fantastic Four can summon lightning.
Right.
We would have been like, hold on here, pal. Yeah.
I mean, she's gonna make it rain on her really hard, so she probably that windshield wiper says you're probably gonna lose.
Yep. All right, so we're going to
dance like nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, so our next episode that we talked about doing, a future one, we're going to do, some fast food debates and stuff like that. We're going to table that. We're going to table that for another week or so. But it's kind of in honor of Valentine's Day. Nick suggested that maybe our next episode we shoot next week, post Valentine's weekend. We'll talk about some of our early crushes growing up, who they might be now, celebrity or whatever. And it could be anybody. It could be
my list of 5 is going to be Brian,
as it should.
Walter Matthau, Brian.
Yeah. Yep. Walter Matthau. That's good. Ernest Borgnine will be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
No, but so that'll be our next episode that we're planning. So
like it.
Look for that. All right, so we're going to take a break here. We may come back and shoot a little something else here, but Nick, why don't you, if you don't mind, remind the good folks out there where they can find us, where they're watching us, in case this is all they're watching of us this week.
Absolutely. Well, if you're choosing to dip out early on us, you can find us on Facebook and YouTube.
You pricks.
Search up Convincing Idiots. We're on Instagram. That's at convincing_idiots. Twitter at Convincing Idiot with no S. TikTok at Convincing Idiots. Also, feel free to email us with any thoughts or show ideas or things that you like or you don't like at convincingidiots@gmail.com. We're available wherever you like to listen to podcasts. Also, feel free to ask your home assistant device to play Convincing Idiots. They will. Ask her, Alexa, play Convincing Idiots. She'll do it.
That's right.
Yeah, she knows what's up. So, for this segment of Convincing Idiots, I'm Nick.
I'm Dean.
I'm Brian.
And hopefully we've convinced you to come back and join us.